All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work of true sincerity. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the lesson. This is Leviticus 18 and 24. It says, "Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these stations are defiled which I cast out before you." Now, if you read above the previous verses, it speaks of a number of sexual sins that the nations were practicing, or the heathen around them were practicing, and those things were getting the attention of the Israelites, and they were mimicking and defiling themselves in those things. And the Lord warned them that in their participation of these things, that they will be defiled. Say, "The land is defiled, therefore do I visit iniquity therefore upon it. The Lamb itself vomits out her inhabitants. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither in your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourners among you." Now, sexual sins can be likened to idolatry, because the Lord considers idolatry as a form of adultery. And when Jake, if Jake chases and goes after and excels himself in the sexual sins or the perverseness, if you want to put it symbolically, of the heathen around him, then he puts himself in a defiled state. Now, those can be anything, man. Those can be the customs, the beliefs, the practices, the ideologies of America. Tomorrow they're going to have what they call Easter celebration, and that's a defiling of yourself. So right now, as a nation, Israel is a defiled people because of the acts they commit, because of the mentalities they uphold, and they all got this from the wicked of the earth, which is so-called white men. America is the main source of perverseness in the whole world. Every wicked act and every wicked abomination, every wicked perversion is glorified and practiced here in America, the state of confusion, uh, aka Babylon. Let's get Matthew the 15th chapter. This is Matthew 15, and I'll start at verse 18. It says, Yahushua said, "Are you also without understanding? Do not yet you understand that whatsoever enters at the mouth goes into the belly and casts out to the drop, but those things that proceed out of the mouth cometh forth from the heart, and they defile a man." So what proceeds out of our mouths is our own ideologies and beliefs. And those things are from the heart or from the mind. And America programs your mind or your heart to defile yourself. It says, "For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murderers, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies." And if you read that list right there, verse 19, this could be likened to the sexual sins described in Leviticus, the 18th chapter. The different ways of perversion that can be done. it's all out of order. You read the Leviticus chapter, and it speaks about not practicing certain relations because they're out of order, because they're not right, because they're wicked. And here in Matthew's, Yahushua says that from your mind comes your defilement. And that's Jake's mind right there. Verse 19 is Jake's mind. Jake's mind is evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. That's the mind of Jake. That's the mind or the heart that was programmed into you by the perverse America, by the movies, by the social media, by the music, by the wicked culture of the land. And if you go back to Leviticus 18 chapter, we are told not to defile ourselves with these things. So America is a place of defilement. If you read Isaiah 19, let's go ahead and get that. It speaks of Egypt, or aka America, having a perverse spirit. This is Isaiah 19:14. The Lord is meek with a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in their work. Therefore, the drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And we'll get that in the NLT. It says, verse 14, the Lord has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, that perverse spirit. So all the suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless, the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lonely reed. So from the top to the bottom of America is a spirit of perverseness. And especially at the top. Yeah, that's true here in America. Because the most corrupt organization in America is the U.S. government. That's been proven time and time again. And that trickles down to the American people. Other countries even say, even speak of the perverseness of the American people. This is a place of hedonism. That goes back to, it reminds me of that Guns N' Roses song, Welcome to the Jungle. We have fun and games. If you have anything you want, just got to know the name. That's that perverse spirit, man. It says, in that day the Egyptians will be as weak as a woman. They will count fear with the upraised fist of the Lord of heaven's armies. And what are the armies of the Lord? Those are the ICBM missiles. So the perverse spirit that America's in, that's caused Jake to defile himself, will result in judgment and death. Let's get 1 Corinthians 3:17. Well, I'll go back. Let's see here. 1 Corinthians 3:17. It says, go back to the King James. So an Israelite's man, he is the temple of the living power. Yahweh said the kingdom of God was within you. The kingdom is within us, meaning our obedience to the Lord is what the kingdom is. He said, no, you're not the temple of Yahweh, the spirit of Yahweh dwells in you. If any man defile the temple of Yahweh, him shall Yahweh destroy, for the temple of Yahweh is holy, which temple you are. Being the Israelites. And 2/3 of our people have defiled that temple. And as it says here, if any man defile the temple of Yahweh, or cause them to be defiled by taking heed to the perversions of the nations. I'm trying to get the little footnote. Destroys. Him shall Yahweh destroy. For the temple of Yahweh's holy temple. Temple ye. Did no man deceive himself if any man amongst him be wise in this world, let him a fool that he may be wise. Because the wisdom of the world, as it says in verse 19, is foolishness with Yahweh, for his great he that taketh his wife is his own craftiness. So the wisdom of this world is a perversion, the high level of perversion that America boasts of. The so-called pursuit of happiness, you can do what you want, spirit, or the perverse spirit that America promotes. And as we read here, it's all gonna result in judgment. You know, we're supposed to be a holy people, and the only ones that are going to be deemed holy or separate in that day of judgment is going to be the remnant, the elect, and the 1/3. The Lord sees the rest of the rest of the nation of Israel as a defiled people, as a defiled temple, which are slated for destruction. Going back to verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So the perversion of America will lead to their own destruction. And the Lord's sifting the house of Israel and exposing the perversion of our people. And we've seen that with different groups in the world and in the truth. You know, Puff Daddy, that perversion has been exposed. And that was popular, hidden, but the Lord's uncovering things. And yet recently, so-called Israelite group leader, his perversion was exposed as well. So that perversion, and you see these men they're both symbolic of sifting, of exposing, of the perversion of Israel. And most likely you will see them destroyed. And these are set up as warnings to our people. To defile not yourselves. With that being said, it's a real quick lesson on Most High will and hope is edifying. Instead, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.